Today in studio, Alex Mdakane, the national spokesperson for Israeli Apartheid Week 2016. Alex, thank you very much for coming in. Welcome.
Thank you, Natasha, and good day to the listeners or the viewers.
Thank you. Well, Alex, this is something that's held every year across the board. How did the concept of IWA come about? And other than building support for the cause, what is the aim?
Okay, basically IAW, which stands for Israeli Apartheid Week, is informed by the struggle of the peoples of South Africa when they were fighting against the oppressive regime of apartheid. So the intensification of the struggle of the peoples of South Africa to liberate themselves from the yoke of apartheid basically informs IAW, which is of course commonly known as Israeli Apartheid Week. We are in our 12th year this year. And I must say we are going strong in more than 250 countries. 250 cities, campuses, and other communities, international communities that have taken a conscious decision to join the fight for the liberation of the peoples of Palestine. But the basic aim of Israeli Apartheid Week is to raise awareness on the ongoing apartheid policies that the Zionist regime of Israel is imposing against the peoples of Palestine through the annexation of land, limited movement, etc. Similar problems that we faced under our own oppression under apartheid are the similar situation that the peoples of Israel are faced with.
So looking at that, then what would you say is the main narrative or the main story that needs to be highlighted that a movement such as this would want to make people aware of?
Look, what we have said as a basic aim, we're a non-violent organization that is calling for the boycott, divestment, and sanctions against the Zionist regime of Israel that is practicing apartheid against the peoples of Palestine. So what we are basically calling for is for the people of the world to come out and shame the Zionist regime in the same manner that we shamed the apartheid regime in South Africa and eventually won our freedom through the 1994 democratic breakthrough. That's the same thing that we want to achieve with, in as far as the Palestinians are concerned.
What's the kind of relationship or the kind of dialogue that you have with the Israeli community here and across the countries and the cities and the universities where this plays itself out?
Well, as we speak, yesterday we had a press conference, an interfaith press conference. In that conference, we also unveiled a letter from the Jewish community in Israel that is calling upon the Jewish community in South Africa to please come out in numbers and support Israeli Apartheid Week, because our understanding and our comprehension of the problem that is taking place in the Middle East, in particular between Israel and Palestine, is that it is not contrary to the popular narrative, it is not a religious issue between the Jews and the Muslims. That is why you have the Jewish community that says, you know what, the Zionist regime does not represent me. I'm a Jewish person, I'm an Israeli citizen, but I'm against what my government is doing across the border. So Jewish communities across the world as well have come out in support, through your social media. We've seen, different protests, lectures, film screenings that are being conducted by the Jewish community in different countries of the world in support of the Palestinian cause.
So having said that, do you think that there needs to be a change in the understanding of the story? Do you think that the media perhaps portrays the struggle between, it's a religious struggle, whereas you say that it's not necessarily a religious struggle? Do you think that the story needs to change, the narrative needs to change?
What is religious about killing a child? What is religious about killing an old woman? What is religious about killing an unarmed teenager? What is religious about killing a man who's going to work in the morning? What is religious about, the blockades, the annexation of land, the seizure of stock, etc.? There's nothing religious about that issue. It's purely a human rights and a political issue. And we all understand, of course, that the Zionist regime does enjoy support from certain governments. The United Nations in 2013 declared that Israel is indeed an apartheid state, but we now want action. We want the United Nations and other countries to take action against Israel.
All right, so what are some of the activities on the agenda for this week?
Well, we have quite a number of lecturers. Starting today with a lecture at Braamfontein, where we'll be hosting Professor Isaac from the University of Johannesburg, together with Solomon Bayile, the second Deputy General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, will be at Cosatu House starting at 6:30 this evening in Braamfontein at Cosatu House. There are other events, of course, in other provinces. It's just a host of events. I cannot mention all of them, but
so
the viewers
can look on your website. Or get
which
in
is www.iawsouthafrica.com. www.iawsouthafrica.com. They will get a list of events, province by province, city by city, region by region, campus by campus. They're on the website.
All right, Alex, thank you very much for coming in. Alex Mdakane, the national spokesperson for Israeli Apartheid Week 2016. All the best.